And welcome to another In Depth with Idaho State University. I'm Jerry Miller, voice of the Bengals. And our guest today is a new member of the coaching staff for the women's basketball program at Idaho State University, Coach Travis Brewster. Welcome, Coach. It is a pleasure to be able to sit down and talk with you.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is really exciting. It's going to be fun.
Now let's find out exactly who Travis Brewster is. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And tell us about your family.
Sure. I was born in Fort Dodge, Iowa, and I grew up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Went to a school there called Cedar Rapids Washington High School. Then I played junior college ball at a school called Iowa Lakes Community College in Esterville, Iowa. Then went on to play at Charleston Southern in South Carolina, and then played overseas for 3 years in Switzerland and Ireland. Lucky to be a Midwest kid. Mother worked at Caterpillar for 43 years, and my father owned a construction company, and then worked at Alliant Energy as a coal engineer operator. And I got a sister and a brother, and I'm fortunate to be married to my wife Rebecca, who's a cardiac nurse here at Portneuf, and I got 3 kids, a son that's going to be 22, and then a daughter who's a junior here at Idaho State, and then my youngest son is 17, but going to Century. So I'm pretty fortunate in that aspect.
Well, that's awesome. You may find it surprising to know I have actually spent some time in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. My daughter and son-in-law lived there for a number of years. He was the marketing manager for the minor league hockey team.
Oh, yeah.
In Cedar Rapids. And from there, I believe they came back to Idaho and then went to Virginia, and now they're back in Idaho again. But it's a beautiful town, a really nice city, and I enjoyed it there. I agree with you. I think you're fortunate to grow up in a state like that in the Midwest, not a huge town. I grew up on a farm here in East Idaho, and I've never really liked being in large cities, even for short times. Lived in Salt Lake City for 4 years. That was way too big for me, and it was great to be able to come back to Idaho.
Oh, yeah. It's different, and being able to have those different opportunities and see how life is in bigger cities and smaller cities and in middle-sized cities. So it's been good.
Well, you've been around. You played college ball in Iowa and then at Charleston Southern. Tell us how you got into coaching and take us through your coaching pedigree.
Yeah, I got into coaching due to my junior college coach. I was playing in Europe, and I got a phone call. I thought it was early in the morning. It was about 11 o'clock, and and my junior college coach called and said that he was at some point gonna get out of coaching, and he thought it'd be a good idea for me to do that. And I was asleep, and I said, Coach, I said, I'm just not ready to do that. I'm still playing, and I'll give you a call back. And he said, you're going to do what? I said, I'll give you a call back. And he said, I'll give you a call back. And he hung up the phone. And then my parents proceeded to call 20 minutes later. So that was an interesting phone call with my parents, being 23 and playing basketball and stuff. And got off the phone with my parents. Then my college JUCO coach called back, Bob Grims, and said, so you're ready to be a college coach? And I go, I guess this will be I got one more season, coach, and I guess I'll be getting into the biz. And so that's how I got in. And I actually started college coaching at my junior college that I played at, and actually with my junior college teammate. So he was the head coach and I was the assistant coach. And so, we were roommates a lot on the road and stuff. So that was kind of a fortunate thing. And then I was a GA for men's basketball at North Dakota for a guy named Rich Glass. And I did that for a year. And Gene Roebuck was the women's coach, legendary coach, 3 national titles in Division II. And Gene's win percentage is .831, if I do recall. And he just came up to me one day and said, hey, I may have a spot for you to coach. I was like, man, I'm a GA. I'm gonna be up out of here. And you know what? I was fortunate enough to work for him 9 years, and so I worked for him, and then did a little stint in Milwaukee, and then I worked for Aaron Johnston for a year, and so that's kind of my coaching tree. I haven't really bounced around a whole lot. I've been kind of, I guess, rooted in the spots once I get there. 17 years in all at North Dakota. Did see 3.5 years at Iowa Lakes coaching, and then 2 stops for a year, and now here I am at Idaho State working for an excellent coach and a great guy.
Travis Brewster is head coach at North Dakota. You were the Big Sky Coach of the Year twice. You took your teams, I believe, to the preseason WNIT 4 consecutive years, which basically is unheard of. You hosted as a co-champion in the Big Sky. You hosted the Big Sky postseason tournament. Our women's play-by-play announcer, Mark Liptak, has a great deal of angst in his history about having to travel by bus from Idaho to Grand Forks. And you had some excellent teams there. And now going from a head coach to an assistant again, sometimes that's just the way this darn industry works out. And did you ever think you'd be in that position?
Well, once you become a head coach, your goal is to do the best you can. But when you look at the profession, how it sets up, not everybody gets to be in that position, their whole career. And one of the things I look at it is from the standpoint of being able to work for Seth Soboleski here at Idaho State and alongside Ryan Johnson and Courtney Smith, is that it gives me an opportunity again to kind of get back in the trenches a little bit. You go, well, did you think you were going to do that? No, I didn't know. My thing is I never really got into coaching to become a head coach or anything like that. It was to work with people that, for lack of a better word, I wanted to work with people that, a lot of people didn't think you could do it. And that's why I coach. And be able to be an assistant again, it's good. I'm enjoying it. It gives me an opportunity to reflect on myself as a head coach. It gives myself a chance to reflect on, and can you be a darn good assistant coach again? And that's how I want to be, and to be able to help Idaho State and they're doing tremendous things before I got here, and my goal is just to help make it go a little bit higher, and I'm really excited about that opportunity.
You have aspirations to become a head coach again?
You know what? Yeah, it'd be nice, but at the same time, you have to enjoy where you're at, and that's what my focus is. And Seton's very good about talking about realistic expectations and things. We've already talked about those things, but at the time, right now, this is a great situation for my family and myself, and I can't worry about that. I got to worry about, hey, how do we get the Bengals better, and how to help out. That's all I can keep my focus on.
One thing I can tell you, Coach, is I'm fairly certain that come December and January and February, you won't have to deal with 40-degree below wind chill factors in East Idaho.
No, that'll be all right. That's going to be all right. I'm kind of wondering if my coat's going to be too heavy or not that I got for a winter coat.
So talk about your relationship with Coach Soboleski and how you ended up at Idaho State.
Well, Seton and I have always, obviously had some battles and things like that, but, there's been an admiration of how he runs his program and how he is as a person. And, the thing about it is I knew to work for somebody that has a toughness about him and has a genuine character about caring about people, that's the type of person that you want to be around. And, there's a lot of people that say that they want to have a relationship or be in a program to where toughness is one of the key factors. And there's a difference because some people say it and there's other people that live it, and he lives that. And I just think he does a tremendous job as a coach, but his character as a person, I think, gets overshadowed. and he's a tremendous caring person in that aspect. But the conversations was, hey, how are you doing? I saw what happened. Is there anything I can do to help? What's your plans? And really didn't have any answers to those things. And so we were just chatting and just, I guess the best way I could do is trying to give each other feedback and uplift. And, it was kind of one of those situations that it just occurred. It wasn't something that was, hey, this is going to happen. And it was a phone call one week to see how I was doing. And then there's going to be a follow-up phone call, a couple, 7 to 10 days later, just to check in. And then it became, hey, this opportunity may happen. And, it was, what I mean by it may happen, it was, there's, what do you think, if this was to happen, and I can't give you a definite, and, but if it were, would you think about it? I said, sure. But, we had to talk about the things too of becoming an assistant again. And my thing is, I'm not really that caught up in, the title or anything like that. It's more of the opportunity and to be a part of something. And so we talked about it, and, I talked about it with my wife, and here we are.
When did you move to Idaho, and what's your impression of East Idaho?
Well, I moved. I was going back and forth here from about June 5th till about the middle of July. I was going back and forth a little bit, trying to sell our home in North Dakota and help pack and things like that. And, Seton was great about it, and Ryan. And then kind of made that move permanently, and here we are. And what's my impression? Well, when my dogs ran away in North Dakota, I could watch them run away for a long time. But here you can't do that, But, it's beautiful. It's a different terrain, obviously, different climate. But really excited about it. Just being able to be a part of that. And Pocatello has been great, thus far, being able to meet people. Obviously, it's a different situation for all of us right now in this world, but I really, it's been good. My daughter decided to go to school here. She was going to go to school in Iowa. And she's a biology major here at Idaho State, to be able to have her close. She lives across town. She don't live with us, so 20-year-old. But it's been good in that aspect. It's a welcome community. Really excited about it.
Well, my wife and I didn't take us long to fall in love with it once we moved back here from Utah. We're both from East Idaho, and just recently moved out of Pocatello, and my wife cried for a half an hour down the road as we drove away. So yeah, it's an easy place to love, but it's great to still be a Bengal. And let's talk about you as a coach and find out, in your own opinion, what do you think your strengths as a coach are?
Well, I think the big thing is being able to listen and then to communicate. But the other part is that, I've noticed is that being able to push a player to get to a point where they're, everybody wants to stay in the comfort zone, and be able to get them out of that comfort zone and get them to that next level. You can teach skill. People are born with talent, but when you can help people realize how big their heart is to be able to play the game, you can win a lot of games that way. And that's what I focus on. That's what I've always focused on, is playing with a lot of heart. Don't get me wrong, skill's important and talent is talent, but when you have the right type of heart and determination and go about it, you can make up for a lot of things. And that's how I try to coach, because that's how I played. And that's the coaches I had. That's how they coached, and that's how they believed in stuff. We worked on skill all the time, but you play with your heart. And when you can get people to play with your heart, a lot of good things happen.
In the minds of a lot of people, a job is a job, a career is a career. It's how we earn income and stay alive and take care of our families. But the coaching industry, to me, in my mind, has always been something very unique. It's one thing to have a job where maybe you go and do the same thing day after day after day, 8 hours a day or whatever it is. In the coaching profession, it can be different, and usually is, every single day. And in my mind, as I look at coaches, it is one of the few careers where really your focus as a coach is to make or help someone else become the very best they can, and not just athletically.
Yeah, it's different, and I alluded to the coaches that I had, but I wouldn't be here without them, um, and believe it or not, I had one basketball scholarship coming out of high school, and I was fortunate to play for a great high school coach named Don King, um, but I had more football scholarship offers, and I had one junior college coach that said, "Hey, I think you can make a go of this if you really want to," and it changed my life, and um, being able to learn and to do that is pretty unique and special. And when you get that good foundation, like I did, a gentleman named Rick Williams was really influential for me in that aspect. And he played a little bit of professional, and he just said, "Hey, being skilled is great, but you got to understand, I'm trying to teach you to play and be different, and be different once you're away from the game." And luckily, my parents had that same philosophy as well. And to be able to teach young people that, it's pretty unique. And it's not always, everybody always kind of want the fluffy stuff, and you see the post on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, how great it is, and this is the greatest ever. And but that's not realistic. To get to that level of being successful on and off the floor, it takes a lot of work, and it's not always easy. And I think that's the thing that we lose sight of a lot. And if you look at Kobe Bryant and the Mamba mentality, there's a lot of people talking about that nowadays, but that's really just old school blue collar style of work ethic. And that's where I'm from. But you look at it and it's pushing yourself mentally to be better as a person, to be better as a student, and to be better as an athlete. And I really believe that Idaho State women's basketball, it embodies that. And, that's not always pretty, and it's not always easy. And that's where people forget that they just want to see the end result and how awesome it is and things like that. But there's a lot of hard work that goes into that. And there's a lot of grinding that goes on, and there's a lot of self-reflection. That's not always easy. And I really believe that that's how Idaho State women's basketball is going. I think Ryan Johnson and Seton have done a tremendous job in that aspect, obviously. And to be a part of that's pretty special. And obviously with Courtney now, who's had a tremendous career as a coach as well, it's pretty unique to be a part of this type of staff.
Obviously, one of the skills you had as a head coach was to be able to recruit. What other responsibilities has Seton given you as you've joined his staff?
Go get his car. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's been pretty unique in the aspect. Obviously, you got to do some recruiting aspect to assist with that, assist with the scheduling, and then we haven't done a whole lot of individual workouts yet as breakdowns, but we've done some, and a little bit it's going to be working with the guards because Seton and Ryan have both done a lot of the post work, so to be able to do that. And then, some of the day-to-day stuff of just being in the office of, obviously we don't have a crab feed this year yet. We might have something, hopefully, to work with that. But right now, battling the schedule is the big one. That's my big focus is to, with the Pac-12 games and things like that, trying to figure out stuff. So that's kind of really it in a nutshell. Obviously, doing player development is a big thing. And obviously helping with the academic piece of it. Making sure that we help our young people stay afloat, so to speak, during the COVID, and don't let them get distracted and do well in the classroom. They all work hard, so that's going to be good. So that's really it in a nutshell.
I'm guessing the only thing you can do is to proceed as if the season will begin on schedule.
Yeah, and that's part of that mentality of keeping that positive affirmation going, because if you get caught up in the other stuff, you're worried about something you can't control, and you're not preparing for what you need to. And that's all we can do is live each day that way, is prepare ourselves for life. And you can't sit there and worry about what happened in the past. You got to figure out how to move forward, and that's not always easy, with the unknown. And this adversity is different, something that nobody controls. And the only thing you can control is your mindset. And that's what we talk about on a daily basis, and keeping that focus.
Coach, I'm going to give you a chance to wrap this up by asking you to go ahead and talk to Bengal fans of ISU women's basketball and Bengal fans in general, and tell them what you want them to know as we approach another season of basketball, whether it begins this November or even if it gets pushed back a little bit. Why is it important for us all to move forward?
Well, the big thing for all of us is to be able to have a new appreciation for camaraderie, a new appreciation for how we approach each day together. And, to be able to come out and support this team, it's going to be a tremendous team. They're good. They work hard. They got a great attitude about them. And to be able to have our Bengal fans in the stands, hopefully that's going to be pretty special. And if we have to be able to do it where everybody has to watch on video, I still encourage them to support, because it's a dynamic group of people. And Coach Soboleski's done a tremendous job of keep developing them each day. And we got to be able to understand we can only do this together, and we got to roar out together. That's going to be a key.
Coach Travis Brewster, new member of the women's basketball coaching staff at Idaho State University. It's great to get to know you a little bit. Look forward to meeting you in person, and it's great to see you in orange.
Thanks, Jerry. I think I look pretty good in it.
I think you look pretty good in it too, Coach. Thank you. This has been In Depth with ISU women's assistant basketball coach Travis Brewster. Have a great day, Coach.
You too. Thank you.